Welcome back. We're now in episode 3. This time I'm thinking what we're going to be doing is getting some electric miners up and running now that we have research finished. Last episode we were able to modify the iron smelting setup a little bit, get some partial automation of the gear wheels, belts, and a somewhat improved mining setup, although it still does rely on manually feeding in coal into these smelters here, so that's something I would also like to fix today. But first things first, let's start some new research. Now that electric mining drills are done, I think we're going to focus on logistics. There we go. That will start researching. We do still, of course, have to craft the automation science packs by hand, and we'll have to do that until we get some sort of bus of copper to the joint area with the iron plate. But for now, let's grab a little bit of supplies. We'll grab some belt, we'll suck up stuff, and start making some drills by hand. So as you can see, the miner drills are in the works, getting processed. They're in the pocket. So the first thing I want to optimize is this setup over here for coal. This is obviously not an ideal setup, but it did at least mean I didn't have to come over here and manually pick up the coal by hand. But now that we've got some electric miners, we can get rid of all of this. And we'll, of course, have some coal left over now in my pocket, which we can distribute where we see fit. So let me clear out the trees here a little bit. And we certainly don't have a big enough coal patch to make like a ratio perfect setup. I think that's, or at least it used to be, like 30 miners to fill up one full belt of yellow belt. But for now, we will just plop down what we can. Let's start with this. And then I'll craft some small electric poles here. Join up the belt. In fact, we'll move it down a little bit just so we can plan on making room for more miners, since we'll definitely need them. This patch won't last very long at all. In fact, these starter patches have not been modified in any way. There's the same like default starting size. The density or richness of them is still the same. So at some point, sooner than later, we will have to think about expanding not only our production area, but also where we actually farm our stuff. Get rid of that. And now we have full electric mining of coal. How is power doing? All right. We're hanging in there. Let's keep crafting those automation science packs, because I would like to get logistics research as soon as we can, so that way we can actually get a splitter or underground belt situation to improve upon this monstrosity of a diverting coal setup. In the meantime, we'll feed the excess coal into the furnaces, since I didn't have a way to really distribute coal onto an input line for the furnaces at this point. We'll get to that later for sure. Belts are doing okay. We're at just about 150 for now. And logistic research is more than halfway done, so we're making good progress. Oh, this guy is now empty, so we can move that and move it down. I would next like to get miners for iron and copper, of course. In fact, since we already have at least an okay, like pseudo-functioning setup for iron, maybe we should prioritize copper plate, because then that means we can actually focus on getting more automation of things, get like a pseudo-running bus, instead of just this handcrafting situation we're doing for most of the stuff. Let's craft a couple more packs. Oh! And the first brownout, but I think that will fix itself in just a second here. Let's see, do I have vision up there? Not quite. I'm gonna go up there just to make sure that this brownout will be fixed. It should be, because we're using the burner inserters up here. And that means as long as coal is available, they should move to feed themselves and then feed the boilers. Although maybe since I'm up here, I should improve on this a little bit. So there's that, and then we just need power. There we go. And we can do up to 40 of these. So this is just, what, 16? No, 8. Just 8. So like we have definitely tons of room to improve on power for now. But that's great. Coal's finally getting to where it needed to go. That red long-handed inserter was really stealing all of the coal to the iron setup instead of actually letting it bypass to power. But that problem is solved. Logistics research is done. Can put the excess automation packs in there for now. And what should we research next now? Fast inserters, that would be nice. Repair packs, radar. Ooh. Okay, we're getting into things that are beginning to be more expensive. So let's do some of the cheap items like a gun turret, which only takes red packs. And then we can do the more expensive packs once we actually get you know, a bus and a mall and things like that. Ooh, but I can finally build some underground belts, some splitters, and we'll underground belt here to there. Oh, actually need to bring that back by 1. Splitter there, get rid of that, and now we actually have less ghetto divvying off of the coal. We'll move this down by 1 as well, since we're now out of iron up there. Coal goes in that guy, and it already has power. So that is good to go. Alright, so I'm going to continue crafting the electric mining drills by hand for now. We'll get that automated eventually for the actual crafting of the miner drills. But let's head on up here to copper. There's a lot of stuff we have to craft by hand. And these guys have stopped working altogether since they are full. So we can actually just reconfigure a whole brand new copper setup. I do want to clear some trees so that I have a nice clear area. And now that we have more electricity processing and more demand on power, I just want to make sure I don't see any like biters headed our way. Not that I have any radar to really get a good view, but so far so good. How's my pollution cloud? Okay, not even remotely touching the enemy area yet. So I think that will be okay, but it will be nice to have gun turrets done just to be on the safe side. We can get rid of these nearby large rocks. All right, so I've got 3 miners. That's not much, but it is better than nothing, and it's also, I think, better than what I had previously. I'll continue to make a couple more in my pocket. So we'll connect up the miners to belt, and then this will need to get connected in some sort of bus so that we can have more efficient crafting of all of the items. So where do I want my bus to go? Ideally, I don't want my burner setup and smelting setup in general to stay on iron, so I am going to move that eventually. I'm going to have to move the 2 assemblers we have eventually anyway to be more in a shared configuration with all the other Make Everything assemblers. So I'm thinking we should make a bus that extends maybe west to east, because it looks like we have plenty of room in this direction. So we'll put smelters over there as well somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where, but I know regardless we need to get this belt eastward. So that's where we're going to head. It looks like it might be a slow process because there's a lot of dense trees that need to be cut down. But that's okay because I do need a lot of power poles, and I don't have the upgraded power pole tech yet. And I don't know if you've noticed, but this has already been driving me crazy. We're at 99% for the gun turrets, so I need to just craft a couple more automation science packs. And we'll get that finished. Ooh, but it will also be nice to get lights research. Maybe we can research that next. Yeah, because that's only 10 packs, so we'll do that. But once we get a little bit of even a baby bus of copper and iron, we can start to automate more things. And that's the whole goal. While I'm making this long, never-ending bus and trapping myself, let me extend power just so it's at least having copper getting mined in the background, even though it can't reach its destination quite yet. And I'm thinking it might be quicker to just route the belt. I don't want to route it through coal. We'll route above coal, just like this. And I'll try to route the belt down a little bit so I'm not having to cut down all of these trees. So let's keep going. And I have almost 100 more belts, so I don't think it will get us too far, but I think at least to our current iron setup. Probably not to the end of that spot to the east, though, that I'm thinking for the actual smelter setup that we'll place. All right, now we're getting a little bit of a clearing. We'll just move the copper ore line somewhere over here for now. We can have it go, I guess, underground, or we'll have coal go underground there. Let's give myself a little bit of room. I'm known for definitely not giving myself enough room most of the time. Kind of in this area, I think we have a pretty good clearing. I think this is where we're going to place some of the smelting factories. Let's start with one each of copper and iron plate smelting. And I do have some blueprints. Here's an early game one. Let's see if we can find just a basic smelting build, and here we go. And I honestly don't know if the ratios are unchanged or not, but I'm going to proceed as if it is. And now that I'm looking at this blueprint here, it occurs to me we should definitely get some assemblers worth of stone furnaces up and running, which means we need to get some miners on stone, and conveniently that's right there. So let's build a couple more miners. We've got some in the pocket already. We'll just plop down a couple. Let's start thinking about giving it power. All right, there is stone now getting mined. We can maybe get just an assembler, just put it right here on site even for now, and have it go into building stone furnaces. And stone furnaces literally just take stone, so that should be about as easy as it comes. We'll do that. We'll do a little box for output. Actually, we can do a couple assemblers. We'll do another one over here. And I'm trying to now upgrade from having to do the burner inserters now that we're getting more power, and I don't want to have to worry about supplying the burner inserters with coal. So we'll just slowly upgrade things as we can. But we'll do outputs like that. Move that guy. This is now stone furnace assembler. We need some power. There we go. Copy that to there. And we'll cap that off at, let's do 3 stacks for now. I don't want to be like too greedy, but we're definitely going to need this. Plop the lab back down. Put the automation packs back in. Gun turret research. Done. Now I can build gun turrets. And speaking of defense, I probably could benefit from some light armor. And to be honest, it would be a good idea to get some fish here soon too, just in case the worst were to happen. Feed some of the excess in there. Get rid of the excess coal in my pocket. Okay, things are already getting better. Looking forward to getting some light. It's definitely getting really dark. Already have 19 furnaces. Good. Let's pick up a little bit more belt. As far as now redoing the mining setup for iron, that would be nice to do, but I'm afraid of getting rid of this setup for now since we need the belts to build the more technically beginner game ratio friendly smelting build over there. But we will get rid of this eventually. But I think I don't want to tear it down yet when it's really the only iron production that I have going at the moment. But we can start to plan on the future where the iron line will be coming from. Let's say it's coming from here somewhere. And maybe we can do like a hybrid version where we still keep that intact but start to get some electric mining drills up and running. So we can do something like this for now. I always need to remember to be crafting stuff by hand. Let's join power up, join up the belt. One more power pole there. All right. Well, I think that is a good place to end for episode 3. I think you can begin to see my vision for the very early game. A lot of the stuff we've made is just temporary with plans to demolish it in the very near future, but it's gotten us here to where we are so far. So as always, thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been episode 3, and I'll see you very soon for episode 4.